प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्महेधि वेदस्य महाणीस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May the mind too be firmly established in my speech. O self-effulgent truth, be revealed in my consciousness. May the truths of the scriptures come to me. May what I learn from them never forsake me. Let me live my life day and night according to their teachings. I shall speak what is right. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Oh, peace, peace, peace. So friends, we are subjected to some austerity here that we were really not looking for, and therefore it feels more torturous. But that is how the world is. It is not always as one expects. Some unexpected things crop up. This was the first testing time really for the air conditioning system here to run. And it is, as we see, it's not running. It is blowing the air, it is making noise, but it is not cooling at all. So our friends are doing some efforts for last couple of hours, but without success. They are sweating, but the result is not coming in terms of any cooler air here. So austerity is in a way good for the getting spiritual answers. It is if we are very much in comfort, then the spiritual answers don't come. In fact, even the questions do not come to us in a very urgent way. We see one very nice illustrative situation here. We all know about Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna asked the question to Krishna. The discussion began when Arjuna said that, Lord, I am really drowning in this terrible situation. I am suffering and suffering so much that I don't see how this suffering can be eliminated. Even if you give me the kingdom of all the three worlds, still the suffering cannot be removed. This is it. This is kind of suffering. So I take refuge in you. I surrender myself to you. I am your student. Please have compassion on me and take me out of this terrible situation. And then the message of Bhagavad Gita that really elevating, illuminating message proceeds from Krishna. And as the message proceeds, Arjuna's doubts started getting cleared. He started getting more focused on the purpose of life. His vision became clear, and in fact, almost at the end of Bhagavad Gita, he assures Lord Krishna that having heard this wonderful sermon from you, my delusion has gone and my memory has become cleared of all the dross, the memory of what is the purpose of life, what are my duties, and so forth. Everything is now clear to me. Nashto moha smrutir labdha tvat prasadad mayachyuta. That by your grace, all my delusion is gone and my memory is clear. Even in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita, in the 11th chapter, Arjuna declares that, well, because of all this discourse that you are giving, my delusion is on its way out. So the process was shown in the 11th chapter. It is on its way out, and by the time Lord Krishna finishes the 18th, almost everything at the end of the 18th chapter, now Arjuna says that yes, now my delusion is gone and I will now do whatever you tell me to do. Karishye vachanam tava. And then the times the Mahabharata war is finished, Arjuna is in a more or less now comfortable situation. Their kingdom is gotten back. They have a palace, and of course the life is always full of difficulties and problems, but it was not now at that level when Arjuna was really on that day of the war, caught between the terrible conflict that was really pulling him apart, tearing him apart. That conflict was gone. And then on one rather free day, he asked Krishna, hey dear, because they were quite good friends, so, hey, you gave me some very good advice on the battle day, on the battlefield, but at that time my mind was occupied with all the thoughts of battle, and therefore I could not retain all that. Can you tell me all that again? Can you tell me all that again? This is a very important situation to learn. That and what answer does Krishna give there? Well, sorry, he says. And at that time you really needed it. You were in a different state. You were begging for it. You were yearning for it. Without that, your life was just gone. Now, in this comfortable situation, you don't have that yearning. Just if you have time, okay, since there is nothing much to pass time, now you want to hear it again. It is not going to come out in that situation. Krishna says, well, I will tell you something, but that message is gone now. You are not in a state now to receive that message anymore. You are kind of comfortable. You want to just have now some chit chat. You are not really yearning for it, and so that message will not come. That is the important thing, friends. For many of us, spiritual matters don't assume that kind of urgency. They don't have that meaning to us. They just certain other things assume more that sense of urgency. I remember an incident when I had just come to United States, and it was September 2001, and then our regular services were to begin, and that day it was raining hard. The weather was not good at all. It was stormy, rainy, and so I thought there will be very few people that will come to the services today. Who is going to come on this rainy day? But when I expressed this doubt at about 4 o'clock, when my predecessor Yogatmananda was there, some others were also sitting around the tea table, and they said, you can never tell. Today you may get more people because there is no other place to go. All beaches, you cannot go to the beaches. No other important things that they would have done, now all those are not available. So therefore, since there is no other place to go, you can see probably more people coming to the service. And they were not wrong. The house, that chapel was full because nowhere else to go. So for many of us, the spiritual quest comes last on the priority. Let me first take care of this, let me take care of that, let me take care of all the 100,000 things. And then, if at all time is left, if I have nothing else to do, then maybe I will spend some minutes in this spiritual urge. So, in that case, not much answers could be really expected. We have to have that real yearning. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that story. Similar thing is told in some other scriptures like Vedanta Sara, that a student went to the teacher and said that, well, I want to see God. How can I see God? And the teacher did not answer and told that, come on, I am going for a swim in the lake there, and please follow me. And as both of them went to the lake, he told the student to get into the waters, and as the student got in there, the teacher also jumped in and then pressed the head of this poor student underwater and released it after a couple of minutes, and then asked student, hey, how were you feeling? I was gasping for breath. So you were looking for breath, is it not? With that yearning, when you look for God, then you can see God. When you really want God, then you can see God. When you don't really want it, you can't see. It's obvious, you see. So, it is that kind of yearning has to be there. The question should become that prominent in life. In Vedanta Sara, it is said that with what urgency a person whose head is on fire, with what urgency he will run towards waters to get that fire put down. Will that person wait? Let me finish this phone call first. No, will immediately rush towards waters. So similarly, a person should have that burning quest that yes, I know God alone is real. I must have real. I have spent my life running after all the illusory things. All these things like having a wife or a husband or children, or having big money, big house, having lot of name, fame, and such things. I ran after those illusions, tried to catch those illusions for a long time. Now I realize, now I know that they were silly illusions. Now I am not going to be after them at all. Now I know that what is real, and I am going to go for that. I want nothing else, and thus the person becomes really that earnest about it. So that earnestness, the more earnest we are, the scriptures tell that the earnestness is not that you have 0 or 100. It is you have that gradation. These days you have that, that graded from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. So we all have some earnestness. That is what actually brought all of us here. We have some earnestness, and that could be increased. And as it increases, our capability of extracting answers also increases. So we can see the many disciples, many great students of this spiritual quest, how they got answers. It is that solution is there. First of all, that must be clear, that the answer is there. That faith, that confidence has to be there. Otherwise, it is easy, like I told the example of my professor, who just concluded that there are no answers to these questions, and so no point in trying to find. And we could not just spend life running after impossibility. So he said that there are no answers to all these questions, and so no point in wasting time. Of course, he didn't think on the other lines, like whether do we have answers to other questions in life. Actually, they are more impossible, but he thought that these questions cannot be answered. But a spiritual aspirant has to have this clear understanding that there is answer. There is answer. Answer only I have to find out. Answer is there. The question is how to get it. That confidence is many times just described in the questions themselves. The questions themselves contain that confidence that there is answer. Only I want how to extract it. It is there to be extracted. Not that there is no answer. It is there. So that confidence we must have. Like one very beautiful question that comes in the Mundak Upanishad, that the student, he is a learned householder and very respectable householder. His name is Shaunak, and he approaches the teacher with this question: Kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātan. That knowing what, everything becomes known. What is that knowing which everything becomes known? The question is very noteworthy. He did not ask, is there something knowing which everything becomes known? That is not the question. He knows that there is that knowing which everything becomes known. That is there. The only question is, what is that? I want to know that. So, that confidence has to be there. And you will see, as Narendra asked Sri Ramakrishna, that have you seen God? He didn't ask, is there God or is there no God? Question is, have you seen God? It is not a question whether God is or God is not. Have you seen or not seen? So therefore, one has to have this confidence that there is the solution. then only we will go in right earnest to find it. And then there should be this to extract the answer, that we should get something and hold on to it. When the answer is given, we should hold on to it so that we progress. We don't keep on asking the same question over and over again, and we ask new question. Like when we want to climb, say, on the staircase to, say, third floor. Now when you want to climb on the third floor, you take one step, go there, and if you just keep on dancing on that one step, you will not proceed ahead. So you got answer to one question. Now go to the next step. It is a sign of a very good organized mind that understands the question, holds on to it. It is also a sign of a scientific mind. Many of you must have, almost all of you in high school or in college must have seen how the mathematical theorems are derived. So you go to step 1, then hold on to it, then move further from there, then come to step 2, then come to step 3. Gradually you reach the conclusion. Gradually then you prove what you wanted to prove, write QED, and that it is done. But if you forget or you discard those steps that you have already reached, then you go back again and again, never ending. So one has to have that kind of an organized mind to go ahead. In Bhagavad Gita we see Arjuna doesn't ask the same question. He asks many questions in Bhagavad Gita, but they are progressive. One question, then a question at a higher level, then at a higher level, then at a higher level. Like that, the questions also show the evolution. The mind is evolving. New and new questions are appearing, and thus it is a sign of progress. The answers are getting extracted and preserved. So this is an important requirement for getting the answer. You get the answer. Now make it firm. Make that as foundation. And then stand on it. Go to the next higher step. Make it firm. Go and then take the next step. That is how these answers they can be extracted. That Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, let us go to the 11th chapter, because in 11th chapter he asked a very beautiful question. There were many doubts that he had raised earlier. Especially you see the doubts raised in the 3rd chapter, 4th chapter. 3rd chapter the doubt is very seriously raised. In fact, that it is kind of an allegation that he is leveling against Krishna. Some commentators have said that it is Arjuna's mind is not at that time convinced that what Sri Krishna is telling is right, and so he is asking Krishna that what is this? You say that this is the right thing to do, this is the best thing, and to me you are telling you follow this bad thing. It is one of the commentators said that suppose you go to a doctor and then doctor tells this is a very good medicine, this is if one takes this one becomes healthy, immortal, very good. And this is the bottle containing poison. I want you to take the poison. What will you think of that doctor? Will you think that, oh, that doctor is really caring for you? No. So, in the third chapter, Arjuna begins with the question with a similar kind of perception that you said such high things about knowledge, and yet you are telling me to get engaged in a very ghastly work of fighting war with our own kith and kin. What is this? It makes no sense to me. But as Arjuna gets the answers, he holds on to those answers, goes ahead. And in the 11th chapter, he now has gotten to a stage where he now sees that Lord Krishna has said everything so nicely, and he says, I understand, Lord, that the whole world really rests in you. What an evolution, you see. Krishna is like a man, his friend, standing before him, and yet now Arjuna is able to understand that the whole universe is in him. That is a great evolution. But now the question is, on the basis of this belief, this understanding and belief, he says, I fully understand that you are that supreme being, but yet, can you show that to me, that really this whole world is contained in you? I want to see it, because for human beings, seeing is believing, as the saying also goes, seeing is believing. Then study of human neurology, you can see that most of our brain is connected to the visual activity, and therefore we depend, our sense of reality is so closely associated with vision. If we see something, it is difficult not to believe. When you see, you automatically take it as real. If you just heard, you don't easily accept it. You say, let me go and see. When you see, then you believe. For dogs it is different. If they smell, then they believe. And their sense of the visual perception is not so important for dogs. It is the smell perception. Dogs, therefore, their picture of world is formed by the smells. And the human picture of the world is formed by the sight. That is how the brains are wired. So, Arjuna therefore naturally asks, can you show me? I want to see. But he says, if you think it possible, if you think that it is possible, can you show me? And then there is, you see, the way of extracting the answers is so beautifully seen. Lord starts immediately describing, look Arjuna, all these celestial worlds in me, you see. And immediately Lord realizes that Arjuna is seeing nothing, because Arjuna doesn't have that vision. Our vision is tied down only to these earthly senses. And so he says, oh Arjuna, not possible with your sight glued to these earthly senses, and let me give you the divine sight. Divyam dadami te chakshu, that I am now giving you a divine vision. You borrow it from me. Why you don't have it as your own, that will come later. That why Arjuna doesn't take it permanently, and doesn't have that strength actually to hold on to it. So he takes those new specs given by Lord Krishna and started seeing everything is in the Lord, and the magnanimity of that vision, that tremendous grandeur, and the terrible aspect of it, he could not withstand that. The tremendous that vision that everything is contained in Lord. Lord is time. Time is eating everything. So he saw everything is going inside the mouth of the Lord, getting crushed there. And it was very, very difficult to withstand this vision for a person like Arjuna. This happened in Sri Ramakrishna's times also. Sri Ramakrishna's very close devotee and provider, his ardent devotee and servant, Mathur Babu. Mathur Babu, he was almost on a daily basis. He used to have chat with Sri Ramakrishna. He used to serve Sri Ramakrishna with great devotion. He understood also very deeply the divine nature of Sri Ramakrishna's personality. And so one day he requested to Sri Ramakrishna that you have so many divine visions, why don't you give me some? Let me also have all that visions. Sri Ramakrishna told him, why you want them? That is not good to hanker after those things. Why you want them? You are serving me, fine, that will take care of your well-being. No, I must have them. And Sri Ramakrishna devoted, no ego there. He said, okay, if Divine Mother wishes, you may have it. And after a while, Mathur Babu started seeing things that Sri Ramakrishna describes, that he came as if he was intoxicated, was not in this world. His mind was not in this world. He was seeing all celestial things, various divine visions, and he, after a couple of days, he comes to Sri Ramakrishna, Baba, please take back this your vision. All my business is going to dark. So it is because the mind is glued to business. It is not really trained to glued to God, and therefore cannot withstand that vision. So he comes back and says, take it back. Arjuna also had to say that after a little while it was too much for him, and he said that I am shivering with fear. I cannot withstand it anymore. So please assume your other good-looking form, not a terrible form like this. We don't want to look at the terrible form of God. And so therefore only the pleasant thing, okay, take it. So God says, okay, so we have to be strong enough to accept the answer. The answer will come, but we have to be strong. That is why Swami Vivekananda says that strength is religion. Be strong, and as we gain in strength, he says only weaks, they commit sin. It is the weakness that makes us do all the wrong and sinful acts. So be strong, that is religion. If on some occasions he was asked by some, if I get this vision, is it right? And his reply was, whatever makes you strong. know that it is right. Whatever makes you weak, reject it as poison. That is the attitude that a spiritual aspirant should imbibe. Let me become strong. And as we become strong, we will be able to hold on to the answers. Otherwise, we will get the answers, but we will drop them. We will not be able to hold on to them. Suppose somebody, I want something, it looks very nice, and ask that person, will you give me that? And now suppose it weighs 500 pounds. My gift on my hands, I will drop it. My hands will not be able to hold this 500 pounds. So, unless it is pounds means money, then I will be able to hold even 1,000, but it is, without strength we will not be able to hold on to answers. So to extract the answers, we have to have a sufficient strength. So Arjuna's that question shows eagerness to have that vision, that firm faith that God can give, and also that God's giving shows that God can give. Can you hold on to it? It is, we have to therefore through spiritual practice, sustained spiritual practice, have to grow in strength, and thus we will be able to hold on to that vision. Another question that comes to my mind is from Kathopanishad. The Kathopanishad has two questions really. The first question by Nachiketa, after he was told by the god of death that ask three boons, and first two boons were of the nature of enjoyments in this world or in the next world, enjoyments at the physical level or at the mental level, all that was contained in the first two questions or first two boons that he asked. And the third, where the Upanishad properly begins, is the question about the nature of the self. Now, that was his yearning. How much he was yearning for it, before giving him what he had asked, the teacher is the god of death there. So god of death wants to test how much he really wants it. How much really he wants it. Like suppose you go to buy a shirt. You go to buy a shirt, and then you see this shirt looks nice. You see the price tag, $200. Then you think, $200 is too much. $20 or $10 was good enough. So you want that shirt, but not enough to pay $200 for that. $200 are dearer to you than that shirt. So how much do you value that shirt? Say maybe $10. If the price is $10, you would pick it. If the price is more than $10, you may not pick it. So certainly not for $200. So this question that about the self that Nachiketa is asking, how valuable does Nachiketa think this answer, this question is? So he is subjected to a test. The first test, why do you want to know this? God of death asked, why really you want this to know this? It's too difficult to know. Why you bother about it? Ask some simpler, nice thing, don't go on this. Even those gods, very intelligent beings, they also found the answer very difficult. They also left the search for this. So I suggest you don't go this way. But Nachiketa said, well, that doesn't matter. They didn't go for it. In fact, that makes me feel more special, and so I must have it. And where shall I get the teacher like you again for this? So I have to have it. Then again, the price tag was further enhanced, that okay, instead of this, I will give you the kingdom of all the three worlds. I will give you hundreds of years of life. I will give you a lot of children and grandchildren and lot of money. But don't ask for this question. And Nachiketa did not budge from his question. Didn't say, okay, first let me have these, all the other things. Later on, this question, after all, we are very good to quote the scriptures. Yogatmananda might have said, okay, let me first have these things. Because after all, God is within us. Why should we worry about? So, not that I know that much that God is within me. I read in the scripture. So I just quote that let me have the other things first. Later on I can think about God. Nachiketa, no, I don't care for any other things. Then Lord of Death puts him to further, price tag is further increased. Right here I will give you all these great heavenly enjoyments which the earthly beings can never get. Only through my special grace you will be able to enjoy them. Do you want these? Just take them and give up your search for that nature of self and all that. Nachiketa says, no, I don't care for all these things. I have seen what they mean. They mean running after bigger illusions. You are showing me smaller illusion and bigger illusion. You know that nice story, bigger illusion and smaller illusion. There were two neighbors who were both very miserly, competing in miserliness. So one of the neighbors, being neighbors, they should exchange the gifts. But being miserly now, they didn't want to do that. So one of the neighbors had mango trees. And so he sent through his son a basket of mangoes. His son comes with the empty basket, only saying that these are the mangoes sent by my dad to you, and holding as if that it is, the basket was held and was bringing as if it is very heavy, like that. He was bringing nothing in the basket, but he kept it there. So he said, okay, you take the mangoes, give me back the basket. And there was nothing now, but he needs to give a return gift. A return gift is to be given too. So he said, this neighbor's son was there. He said, okay, you know that, thank you for your mangoes. We don't have mangoes, but we have watermelons. So take this watermelon, please. No watermelon actually, only in the hand. He brings it like that. Take the watermelon. And then the watermelon was taken. Then the dad of this boy returns home, and the boy described to him, that miserly neighbor, he sent mangoes, nothing, just show. Oh, I see. And what did you do? I also gave tit for tat. I also gave the watermelon holding like this, this is a whole watermelon. And this dad gave a big slap across the face of this lad. What mistake did you, what happened? Why the whole watermelon? Could you not give half? So what is the point there? But yet it is, our worldly aspirations are like that. And the big shadow and small shadow. What are we running after? Either a big shadow or a small shadow. What difference does it make? This story is really illustrative. We laugh. But look at us. That we run after these shadows. We become jealous if somebody is running after big shadow. I am running after only a small shadow. Let me go after the big shadow. My neighbor has big shadow. So Nachiketa saw that. And he says, hey, I have seen through these things. All these enjoyments that you show me, they are Sarvendriyanam Jarayanti Tejah. The words are so strong, difficult to really translate exactly in English. He says that all those you call enjoyments, they are just things that deplete the powers of my organs. I don't see that they are enjoyments. They are not enjoyments at all. So you can have them as many as you want. If you want to give answer to my query about the nature of the self, give. Otherwise I don't need anything. Then the god of death sees that this person is really capable of extracting the answer. He starts then praising Nachiketa in the second canto. He says, well dear, I was just testing you. You have passed this test. May I get the disciples like you. He says, you saw through, not that you rejected all that emotionally, but you analyzed them. Abhidhyayan Nachiketo Atyasrakshi, that you analyze the nature or the fleeting nature of these things, that they are just shadows, and therefore knowing their nature to be just meaningless, empty shadows, you rejected them. And you showed that courage, and therefore you have the tool to extract the answers. No, now let me give you the answers. Otherwise, what is the use of giving? As Jesus says, no use throwing pearls before the swine. And your pearls will be gone. The swine has no taste for the pearls. So, no use. So, why try to give that kind of illumination to a person who will not be able to hold it? So, Nachiketa had the tool to extract that answer, and he shows it that later, the next question, which shows the evolution. The Lord of Death describes in great details and in very beautiful words the nature of the self and how one goes to realize it. He tells that it is deep hidden in the cave of consciousness, and with really sharp, razor sharp intellect, means the perceptive power has to be made razor sharp. You have to go deep. Drishyate tu agraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhi that then you will be able to come face to face with that truth. Then now Nachiketa really wants to have it, and so he asked that give me now that means of practice, that give me the staircase to climb there, something holding on to which I will be able to get there. That question is about spiritual practice, and Lord of Death gives, yes, Om, what you have been asking, let me tell you in one syllable, let me tell it to you in just one syllable. Om iti etat. Om iti etat. Just one syllable contains the whole thing. Many times one wonders, they take mantra from the teacher and then feel that a small mantra, what can it do? A little this thing, something very big, cumbersome and difficult. If that is there, then it can lead to some good result. This simple one or two words like that, how can it lead to God? Well, that is the power of encryption, that is the power of compression, that is the power of mental association. All these things come there into play, that how you compact the message, how you put it in the smallest thing, like a seed, tiny seed. The whole tree is compressed in that tiny seed, and then you want to give this tree to somebody. I was thinking that we have some pumpkin trees here, pumpkin creepers, and then to bring the whole pumpkin plant too difficult. So our friend brought small seeds. Now that in that seed there is the big pumpkin creeper is there, but you have to cultivate it and it comes out. So he gives him the seed to cultivate, and Nachiketa cultivates, extracts the answer. The extraction procedure is followed there. In that seed, in that mantra that he got from his teacher, now he cultivates, brings out the huge tree out of that seed, and that is extracting. The tree is there in the seed. Now one has to extract it from the seed, and that is, if one is sincere, then that person starts extracting. And so the Upanishad there, it ends that, well, Nachiketa, what did he do? He extracted the answer. Mrityu prokta Nachiketoth labdha vidyam etam yoga vidhim cha krishnam. That Nachiketa learnt from the Lord of Death the whole science and technology. Vidya and Yoga Vidhi, both are learned by him. Yoga Vidhi means the technology of how to extract. And doing it, what happened then? Then he got that, and thus he went beyond death. Brahma prapto virajo abhut vimrityuhu. That he became then one with the divine. One with the divine. How does one become one with the divine? Because we are divine. The ignorance that I am so and so goes away, and thus you become one with divine. It is like that he became one with divine, and thus went beyond death. And then it says that anybody else who gets the technique and does follow it, anyopyevam yo vidadhyatmameva. This last line I loved so much when I was studying this Upanishad first. In that last line, that anyopyevam yo vidadhyatmameva. Anybody else, it was not monopoly of Nachiketa. Not that only Nachiketa will be able to do it. Everybody will be able to do it. Our Teresita will be able to do it. Raymond Smith will be able to do it. Paul Williamson will be able to do it. Will you be able to do it or not, Paul? Yes, everybody will be able to do it because it is science open to everyone. Everyone who wants to follow, everyone who wants to get it, everyone who is ready to take the adequate steps. If you have the directions to say Vedanta Society of Providence, then anybody who has the directions will be able to come. Not that only this person. If anybody has the directions and follows those directions, Raj, where they will come? Exactly. So similarly, if you follow the route, you have to come at the proper place. No doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt. It is assured. In the world, other things are not sure. But God realization is assured because we are divine. Other things are not sure at all. Yes, Gaurav, other things are not assured. That when will I get married, who can tell you? No, not assured. It is how much money will I get? Not sure. Which place I will be living in? Not sure. And nothing is sure. How long will I live? Nobody can give a time frame. It is all uncertain. Everything is uncertain except one thing, that we can realize God. That is the only certain things, friends. Each of us being potentially divine, each of us can realize God. That is certain. And so we should strive for something that is certain, that is sure, that is worthwhile, that is going to give us each and everything that we are actually seeking. So this answer gets extracted by Nachiketa through this process. Then there is a beautiful question of a different kind that you see it asked in the beginning of a great epic Ramayana, but Tulsi Ramayana written by great Saint Tulsidas, the story of Rama. The question is very beautiful and it is asked so that the answer will come out, and not only the one who is asking the question, but others will also will be able to get it. So it was at the place considered very holy place, Tirtharaj, Prayag. It is on the holy confluence of Ganges, river Jamuna, and an underlying river Saraswati. There, every year, even now, there is a big festival around the month of January. Next month, of course, it will be a very big congregation there called Kumbh Mela. About more than 10 million people assemble there. So, it is at that place after the Kumbh Mela for that Magha festival. Lot of sages had come, and Bharadwaj used to live there. A sage Bharadwaj used to live there. This sage Bharadwaj, then another saint had come there. Do you remember the name? Angira? That he was staying there, and Bharadwaj requested him to stay longer. Please, he requested him that I want your holy company. Please bless me by staying some more days. Although the festival is over, the pilgrimage and all that period is over, but I want your holy company for a little more time. Please bless me with that. And this is a request by sage Bharadwaj. And then as he agreed to this loving request, and then he saw this sage Angiras in a nice mood, and then asked this question. You know, there is a doubt that is bothering me for a long time, and that is that how Rama is worshipped as Lord, as God. He was a great human being, maybe I can understand, but how the all-pervading divine being, how could he be compressed? How that divine being could be compressed in 3 cubits of a human body? I just don't get it. Yeah, he did some many great actions that, and maybe he was a wonderful warrior, we can grant that. He was a famous king, that we can grant. And in fact, he became sarcastic in describing Rama there, just to bring out the fervor from the answering sage a little more. That what great king, he broke the bow of Lord Shiva. Not a good thing to do, but he did that. Why should he break Lord Shiva's bow? He should not have done that, but he did that. What great in that? Had lot of strength. That's all. He was a good bodybuilder, we can understand that. Then because his wife was stolen, he got angry with that Ravana and went and killed him. What is the greatness about that? He may be a strong man and was a very powerful person, we can grant that. But how can you call that person God? Was he really God? I don't believe that. Please explain it to me. What a nice question. Please explain how is God in the form of Rama? And his sage replies, I know. You know the answer. But you are asking this question so that we both together can meditate on the life of Lord Rama, how Lord acts as a human being and performs human-like actions just to teach human beings. Those actions are really great eye-openers and great teachers of mankind. And just to engage me in discussing that, you want to hear those things again and again as a great devotee. So you ask this question. But let me tell you, now this sage is also very intelligent, doesn't say that, well, I am going to explain it to you. He refers to a similar conversation. Very interesting. He takes it to a different level. He says this similar question was asked by Sati, the wife of Lord Shiva, Lord Shankara's wife, Sati. She asked this question to her husband, Mahadeva. Once upon a time, she had this question and she asked this question to him, And then let me tell you that incident. That will be an eye-opener for you. That will bring answer to you. So he starts describing that what you see in this is that things are made or provided in such a way that the extraction will become easier. The epics or these mythological scriptures, they are the stories told so that because of the story you get interest in it, and the story becomes kind of a hook by which then the answer can be pulled, extracted. And the story is built as a hook there to extract the answer, to pull the answer. So this is a technique that we should know. Why? Because many times the scriptures, they give truths in parables. Jesus himself said that I teach in parables. Buddha also has taught many things in parables. And the parables are told so that we will be able to get the truth. As a tool to extract the spiritual messages. But if we do not know that, then we just keep on playing with the hook and never extract anything. And we do not do proper fishing using the tool, just play with the hook here and there, do not miss the whole purpose of the hook. So there he gives this as a hook and tells that long back that Sati saw when she and her husband Mahadeva, the Lord Shankara, were going through the skies, when Rama was acting in his human play. He had just lost his wife. The wife was taken by the demon Ravana, stolen from him, and he was then just heartbroken. Crying, my dear wife. He was terribly just heartbroken person, and was going through the forest seeking where she is, shedding tears, crying for the loss of his dear wife. And when this Sati saw that her husband has saluted Rama, she got puzzled and asked that, why, he is a mere human being, why are you saluting him? Then he said, no, he is the Lord in the appearance of a human being. And she didn't believe. What do you think? It's not so. And Lord told him, okay, if you want, you can go and test that. And she decided to test whether he is a human being or a Lord in the form of human beings. So, to test properly, she decides to take herself the form of Rama's lost wife, dear wife of Rama who is lost. She takes exactly, she assumes that form, takes exactly the form of Sita. And where Rama was crying and searching desperately for Sita, she goes and stands right in front on the path there, so that Rama's eyes would fall on her. And what would have happened in normal case? Rama would have, oh, you were here. I was looking for you for such a long time. Why did you vanish like that? What happened to you? And all that questions would have come. So she was waiting for some such things to happen, standing there in the path. And when this Rama suddenly sees her, the reaction was completely different. He salutes her. Oh, Sati, how have you come here? And how is Lord Mahadeva? How is Lord Shankara? And she just was crestfallen. And then I don't want to get into the next part. These stories are unending. But the idea is that, see, acting like a man, but not really man. That is the secret there, that he is the Lord acting like a man. Let us not confuse him to be a man, but acting like a man. That our Dorothy had given a nice lecture some time back about Sri Ram Krishna like that, acting that with the assumed identity. You assume an identity, but the assumed identity, is only up to the stage, not beyond it. So, the assumed identity by God of a human being, that doesn't make you forget your true identity. In the play, somebody may take the role, say, of Julius Caesar, acting on the Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar, and some John Smith takes the role of Julius Caesar, but does he not know that he is John Smith and not Julius Caesar? And at the end of the play, no, Brutus is going to kill him. He knows very well, otherwise he won't go to act in the play. So, the assumed identity of man does not hurt the true identity as Lord. So this is the extraction of the answer in this manner, through the parables, through the stories. So when we read a parable of such great teachers, we should see that how these parables are to be used as tools to extract the right answers. Also, there is a way of using these words. The scriptures, after all, present the truths through words. Words are our means of communication. Although they are most inadequate, we have no other way but to use them. The words cannot really adequately describe, but through the words we can go to those great spiritual truths by properly working with those words. That is again a technique. Great Saint Jnaneshwar, he has written a beautiful commentary on Bhagavad Gita, and he in the first chapter tells this secret of extracting the truths from the words, that how the words are there, words of the scripture are there. Now either you may get lost in the words, or if you think that the message is important, the words are not important, you may get tempted to skip the words. Both of these are not the correct approaches. You have to catch hold of the words. Then slowly open the words. Slowly open the words. Some days back we got a box containing a computer that we had ordered. Now the box is not computer, but because box is not computer, we say we don't want it. Well, the box contains the computer. Extract the computer, properly open. There are instructions there how to open and so forth. So you have to open it properly, and especially when these delicate scriptural truths, they are very difficult to extract because of the transcendental nature of these great ideas. They are clothed, packed into these words. So you have to very carefully very delicately deal with them. One has to have tremendous skill, and it is really a work of tremendous art to open the words. Word has to be slowly opened, and then take out the truth without hurting it, because it is so delicate. You may hurt the words, that is also not right, because they are so intimately connected with the truth that if you hurt it a little bit, maybe you will not get the truth. The words are not in themselves truth, but it contains truth. So slowly, with tremendous, very delicate fingers, delicate touch, you have to open the words. Like you see, peeling grapes, peeling grapes, not an easy thing. If you are told to peel the grapes and just peel the skin, no flesh of the grapes should stick there. You cannot discard any flesh of the grapes, and that it has to be only the skin, remove only the skin, and not an easy task. So similarly, when you have to extract the truth, so this saint says how it is to be done. You know that how the bees, they pick up the pollen and the honey from the flowers. They don't hurt the flowers. They do not break the flowers. With great delicate touch, keeping the flower intact, and they pick up that whatever they want to pick up, they exactly take that and go away, leaving the flower as it is, intact. So when the words of the scriptures come, he says similarly, oh, you listeners of this my speech, my earnest request to you. He says that it is, I am requesting you like a little child requests the elderly parents or whosoever that please, this is my, I beseech you to do this. Please, you have to do this. That take with that super skill only the message. Take the message from the words. The words are very beautiful. The words of this Saint Jnaneshwar, well, really no parallel to that, the way he has used the language. It is just superb. Many times, therefore, because of these beautiful words and the superb analogies that he gives, one just tends to get lost in those analogies. And so it is held sometimes as a fault with this commentary. And that one of my teachers told that, well, this is a great book, but be careful. And that you may, because of the beauty of those analogies, and one after another, so many analogies come, that and each is so beautiful in its literary flavor that you may get lost into it. The poetry of it is just supreme, so you may get lost of it. That is fault of this. But you cannot put this blame on the sage. Do you mean that he should have given bad examples or the wrong analogies? He has to give the right analogies. We have to develop the skill to extract the truth from those analogies and keep the analogies out there. So, whenever we read the scriptures, this is a work of great art and skill, friends, to extract. He says, therefore, words are important, but first, they bola adhi zombije prameyasi, that before you hold on to that words, think of the content. And that content is more important. So, for the content, you start now opening the words. So, as you open the words skillfully, you will see that the answers start coming to us. So, this is the skill of extracting the answers. Getting the answers, there are many examples come to mind, but I am also looking at the clock, and so I will come to an important message again from Bhagavad Gita, that how these answers are to be extracted. One important thing that Bhagavad Gita tells is not to have a doubting nature. To have doubts and to get resolved, important, very good. But what is a doubting nature? That takes joy only in doubting. If you it is not looking for answers. The person is addicted only to get doubts. So if one doubt is gone, take another one. That is gone, take another one. Then again take the first one. Go on doubting and doubting and doubting and doubting. The whole life is spent only in doubting. The person is not looking for answers at all, but only for bringing up doubts and doubts and doubts. Lord Krishna really censures this person. That in Bhagavad Gita, in the whole book, you don't find such criticism of anybody else. Nobody is condemned, except this person, that Sanshayatma, he calls it Sanshayatma, means the one whose soul itself is doubt. This person has no hope. He says that person really goes to destruction. Sanshayatma vinashyati. So, a person who is looking to extract answers should beware of not becoming only embroiled in doubts, only interested in having doubts and doubts and doubts and doubts. It is one should be seeking not to bring more and more doubts, but to get more and more answers. So, and then this Bhagavad Gita gives another very important method to get the answers. Again, it really struck to me because it is a bit counterintuitive. For many of us who think that by reading more, by listening more, we will get answers. We can ask, hey, tell me, and we may get answers. But in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you get that how you get the answers. Lord tells to Arjuna that tad vidhi, know this, know the answers to your questions. How? Pranipatena, that by salutations, by prostrations, you will make yourself eligible to get the answers. It really struck me as something very silly. How can that lead to answers? Then, even though I asked about it to some other seniors at that time, they told me, but the mind was not ready to accept. Hey, Lord should have said that, study and meditate and all. But why this is by the later on gradually it dawned that the big problem in getting the answers, the big obstruction is ego. And so you have to somehow kick this ego out. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, this rascal ego, Shala Ami in Bengali, would say Shala Ami, this rascal ego, that is the problem. And so this prostration or surrender, that means this intention, ability, readiness to get rid of the ego, to leave the ego aside. That is what facilitates the answer. That is just one thing. Pranipatena, pariprashnena, that asks the question. But how the word is not just prashna, means question, but pariprashna means that which is really the yearning of your heart. Let that be expressed as question. And sevaya means through service. You have to form a connection with the source of the answers. Like we have the electricity here, how we are through these wires and all, ultimately we are connected to the grid, and the grid is connected to the source of the power. So through all these intricate connections of power lines, ultimately we get wire here. So we have to connect ourselves to the source of that answers. And that connection comes through service, through working. That working forms a connection. When, say, if you are working at a workplace, that you form a connection with it. That is my workplace. Shravani says, our Cisco. Now, what is that our there? You form a connection, whether you consciously doing it or not consciously doing it. That wherever, whatever place you work, you form a contact, a connection. And if you are really doing it sincerely out of that spirit of service, the connection becomes stronger. And therefore, it is told that you serve the teacher, serve the Lord. What happens there by that? It is a wonderful psychology there, that you form a tangible connection, a pipeline from the teacher's heart to your heart. And then whatever is in the teacher's heart then finds through that pipeline a way to your heart. So you get to know that. It is a beautiful way really that of extracting the answer. Form a tangible connection, a pipeline. That then what is there comes here as well. And that pipeline gets formed through service. So when we learn to do that, we see that the answers will start flowing in. This is a great tool for extracting the answers. So, and one can experience these things. All these tools one can try actually. And then you will be convinced that of their efficacy. And we can see that they really work in our life. The answers do come and we can extract them. So we discussed this beautiful subject in this retreat through these 2 sessions. And let us hope and pray. Let us feel this spirit of self-surrender. The topic is really very deep, and not that I have covered all the aspects of it. It is impossible. And maybe I have made as I might have made many mistakes in describing it, but let us pray to Lord that may we all develop the power to extract the answers, the tools to extract the answers. Let the answers come in our life and make our life full of your blessings, the illumination that you embody. Thank you, friends. I think there is some question answer session also after this. Where is that? Oh, you can see, that what is the program now? Break, yes. Do you want to get broken? No. You want a break, you say. And then there is a bucket for questions. So you can put the question there. You can have some refreshments in the basement. And then we will try to take up these questions and see if we have learned some skills to extract the answers.